It's time for another epic sale on Xbox One, this time focusing on all things add-on. Yes, there are big discounts on DLC and season passes, meaning you can grow your games collection in loads of fun ways. I've rounded up top deals I think you'd be mad to miss, so let's get going. Fallout 4's Season Pass is for tinkerers and adventurers. There are add-ons that punch up your crafting, letting you build everything from a robot sidekick to creating your own vault, complete with a human population to perform experiments on. Hooray! But as much as I like crafting horrible new toys to do horrible new things with, it's the two story expansions that blew me away. The first is Far Harbor, an island that's the largest area Bethesda has ever built for DLC. And all that space is put to glorious use with a new story involving civil war between synths and children of the atom. Just tackling this central story is bigger than some games in their entirety. And once you're done with that, you can take a vacation to Nuka World, which is kind of like Disneyland. If Disneyland was to become irradiated and all the robot children in the It's a Small World ride were trying to kill you. Hey, I've had worse family holidays. Of course, if you don't want to buy the season pass, each piece of Fallout 4 is on sale by itself too, so you can create your own package of apocalyptic extras. I've got a soft spot for Sunset Overdrive's DLC for two key reasons. For starters, the Mystery of Muil Rig expansion added a water dash move that lets you bounce on the wet stuff and keep your move combo going. As anyone who has fallen in one of the city's many rivers will tell you, this is a game changer. The move was later added to every copy of the game with an update, but having a waterlogged playground to test it out on is good fun. The second add-on, The Dawn of the Rise of the Fallen Machines, hits that sweet spot by letting us kill one of the game's most notorious villains, the game's community manager, Brandon Winfrey. Up until this DLC, Brandon was best known for appearing in-game as part of Sunset TV, annoying everyone with his bad jokes. When those TVs join together into a giant death robot, it's time to silence him for good. So yes, it's more one big joke than a radical reworking of the game, but revenge never tasted sweeter. The next pick is probably my favourite bargain of the lot. It's the entire season of Life is Strange for the price of a fancy supermarket sandwich. I spend about 90% of my Xbox On time telling people to play this game. But in case you only watch the remaining 10% of our videos, Life is Strange is an interactive story about a teenager with the power to rewind time. It's a bit like one of Telltale's big moral decision games, like The Walking Dead, only here you can reverse bad decisions and try and write yourself a happier ending. Of course, your actions often have consequences way beyond the immediate future, and it's not until much later that you find out how horribly you've mangled the timeline. On top of this, the game beautifully captures the humdrum lives of teenage layabouts with heaps of humour, charm and sass. And even better, playing this now gets you ready for the prequel Before the Storm, coming to Xbox One on the 31st of August. Trust me, this is one decision you won't rewind. As the title suggests, each of Just Cause 3's add-ons tackles a different form of transport. In Sky Fortress, you get a new wingsuit that practically turns you into a tiny man-sized plane, all the better for taking down the fortress of the title. If you felt that aerial dogfights were a bit underrepresented in the main game, think of this as an explosive apology letter. We then come back down to Earth with a crunch for Mech Land Assault, where things go a little bit Metal Gear with the introduction of stomping death robots. Just Cause 3 is never better than when you're causing billions of pounds worth of destruction, and encasing your fists inside giant robot hands is only going to help speed that along. The final chunk forced us to take to the open seas to face off against evil oil rigs. Oh, and it gave you a lightning gun. Did no one ever tell Rico that water and electricity was a dangerous mix? This deadly combination may backfire horribly, but at least you're paying a far smaller price to find out. The highlight of this next season pass is a story add-on that lets you explore Assassin's Creed Syndicate as the most notorious face of the Victorian era, Jack the Ripper. Yes, it turns out that old Jack borrowed many of his best tricks from the assassins, although his versions of them are far more brutal and designed to strike fear in the hearts of anyone who sees him. Okay, for the most part you're hunting Jack down as an older Evie Fry, but the few times when you hop into Jack's shoes do a great job of reminding you how much is at stake and why Evie may have finally met her match. And hey, any excuse to revisit Syndicate's amazing recreation of Victorian London isn't to be sneered at, right? If you're counting down the days to the Evil Within 2, why not pass the time with the first game's season pass? This actually helps set the scene for the sequel, as two chunks of DLC, The Assignment and The Consequence, fill in key gaps in the story and reveal motivations behind key characters. Be warned though, if you found the main game's survival horror stressful, this will really freak you out. For starters, you are unarmed for most of the DLC, forcing you to sneak around the monsters. Then there's a small matter of a lady with a floodlight for a head trying to kill you. She's like Silent Hill's Pyramid Head meets a trendy IKEA lamp. Thankfully, the third piece of DLC, the Executioner, turns the table and lets you play as the Keeper. He's the chap with a safe for a head and a giant hammer for turning other heads into paste. Pulverizing smaller enemies is exactly what the Doctor ordered after the Evil Within's grueling campaign. If you've been following the news, you'll know that Forza and Porsche have been making kissy faces at each other recently, with the announcement of the Porsche 911 GT2 RS as the cover star of Forza Motorsport 7. But rewind the clock to Forza 6 and you'll find big hints of things to come in the Porsche expansion. This isn't just a collection of DLC cars, but a curated campaign that explains what has made Porsche so special over the last 90 years. But this isn't some dry history lesson, instead brought to life by professional drivers who know these cars inside out. With 20 cars to drive and a new track to test them out on, this is a ludicrously in-depth celebration of stylish speed. It's certainly the cheapest price tag to ever be attached to a Porsche, virtual or not. With Rocksteady calling Arkham Knight their final Batman game, you can be forgiven for wanting to stretch this awesome Bruce simulator as far as possible. The Season Pass is a pick and mix of hero moments, including short story missions for Batman sidekicks and adding enough alternative costumes to turn the Batcave into a giant bat wardrobe. But the highlight for me is Season of Infamy, an add-on that floods the streets of Gotham with 4 new supervillains. Clearing the city of outlandish criminals was the highlight of the main story, and this keeps the momentum going. Whether you're trying to get the drop on Mr. Freeze, stalking Killer Croc, or facing off against Ra's al Ghul in the local hospital. The idea of paying money to release more criminals into the streets may sound mad, but then you do play as a man who pays a fortune to dress up like a bat. No judging here. If you ever looked at Mortal Kombat 10 and thought to yourself, this could do with being a bit more violent, then the extra large expansion is for you. Bundling up the game's 2 combat packs, it adds 8 legendary psychopaths into the mix, 4 from the game's past and 4 from cinema history. Ever wondered what would happen if Scorpion bumped into Jason from Friday the 13th down a dark alley? How about Leatherface from the Texas Chainsaw Massacre? Even better, with both the Alien from Alien and Predator from Predator, you can recreate scenes from Alien vs Predator. Only this time it's, actually good. The discounted price is worth it for a ticket to this grudge match alone. And we finish our list with a blast of Christmas in August with Dead Rising 4's Season Pass. Actually, these add-ons are slightly less festive than you'd think. Frank Rising, for example, deals with the fallout of Frank becoming a zombie himself. It removes the focus from turning Christmas decorations into weapons and gives you supernatural powers. Can you find a cure before the Air Force come in and level the town? Dead Rising's mini golf add-on is much less stressful. It's, well, mini golf with zombies. Make sure to try the local 4-player multiplayer too. The DLC is cheaper than paying for the real thing after all. So those are my top picks from the Ultimate Add-ons sale. There are loads more for you to check out, so do let us know in the comments if you find something awesome you want to share with everyone. And while you're here, please do subscribe to the channel for all the latest Xbox updates and deals, and give this video a like. I'll see you again soon. Bye!